Mailbag time. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Adam, Dan, and Jamie here on Friday afternoon. If you're listening on Saturday, whatever it is, hope you're having an awesome weekend. Yes, I am Adam Azer, getting healthier. Jamie Eisenberg is here, and Dan Schneier. Not only is he the president, he is also a client. I don't know
Dan
if you
doesn't
get
know that one.
No,
I
you
don't
don't
know
get
that one.
that's the old hair club for men.
Oh.
Yeah, that is a brutal haircut. I mean, what do we got going on? It's really short on the sides. It's too poofy in the front. He said he had a bad haircut. I wasn't expecting it because, like I said, this guy's hair has looked the same every day for his entire life. But this is different. This is bad news. What happened?
Wait, take the headphones off so we can see it in all its glory.
Oh.
The headphones make it worse, actually. Yeah, it's not as bad. It's not as bad without. It's not as bad without the headphones on. The headphones make it worse. But,
The
yeah.
good news is it'll grow back. The bad news is it looks terrible. And here's what happened. For those who don't know, am a man of not many. How do I describe this? I don't buy watches. I don't have jewelry. I don't have nice clothing. None of that stuff ever appealed to me. So when it came to haircuts and my personal appearance, I never really put that much into it. I go to a place, and I don't want to name the place because I don't want to drag the place, though most people would look down upon it. It's a chain haircut store. Let's just call it that. And when you go to a chain haircut store,
A-Chan.
yes, they want to be pronounced a Chan haircut store. And when you have a job where you're working a lot, or when some circumstances that have gone down on our team mean more working this week, you don't have time to get a haircut. And I knew I had a trip coming up to Florida, so I don't have a specific barber or hairstylist. I just go to the place, this chain place, and whoever they give me, they give me. It's been fine until this point. As Adam always says, my hair looks always the same. That's great. That's by design. I'm good with that. Give me the same haircut every time. This time, I said the exact same thing I always say, which is a 1 faded into a 2 on the sides and trim, keyword trim on the top. Trim on the top. Does this look like a trim to you? This is not a trim. This is a massacre on the top. This is a hack job on the top. And the worst part about it is this hairstylist, she turned my chair. I don't know why. I've never had a haircut like this. While working on me, she turned my chair. So I was not facing the mirror anymore. So it's a guessing game at that point as far as what the work she's doing. And I'm just have to hope that things are going well. I'm just sitting there all the time. I don't know. She flips it back around to the end, at the end of the haircut, to the mirror. And she goes, "How's it look? How do you like it?" And I just had that freeze moment where I was just like, here's that awkward spot. Like when you're at a restaurant and the food sucks and the waiter's like, "How was the food?" You never tell them the truth. No one ever tells the truth. You always say, "Oh, it's good. Yeah, the food was great." So yeah. So how was it? How does it look? Good.
I just said, oh, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. She did the turn, huh? No, you can't.
She did the turn. I need to see a mirror the whole time.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think it's a lot different. I mean, I would tell. I don't usually, I usually enjoy my meals, but if the food was bad, I don't know if I tell the waiter, but the waiter didn't make it.
I never tell the waiter.
The waiter didn't make it.
I know, but you don't want the awkward conversation of being like, actually, this was kind of crappy and it was cold and it came to. No one ever wants. I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of I guess it's not no one. People who don't like confrontation, like myself, don't ever do that.
Did you tip?
Yeah, I did the normal tip. I did the normal good tip. A normal good tip. I don't take it out on the tip ever. The person, even though this is, I just don't understand what she thought I meant when I said trim. Trim. I said trim.
Well, I don't really.
All right, so here's what happened. Here's a question I have for you. You go back the next time. They give you the same person.
Oh no. Then I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. The confrontation will happen. No. I'm not kidding. And I thought about this today, Jamie. That's funny you brought that up. I was thinking about this in the shower. If that happens again and I'm stuck with that person, I'm gonna have to do the thing I don't want to do and be like, "I'm sorry, but the last haircut we had together wasn't great."
It's not you, it's me.
No, you know what I would do? Honestly, I would leave. I'd be like, I would pretend that I had a phone call.
That is actually what I would do. That's actually the move. That's actually that's the sad sissy move that Adam and myself would do to avoid confrontation.
So I'm gonna give you a scenario based on something you just brought up, and I want to see if our audience can guess who it is. And it might be one of the three of us on the show right now. There is a person who continually, let's just say continue, who has repeatedly, when asked, "How's the food?" said, not so good. And as a result, has gotten some free meals out of it.
Really?
But there is somebody that is on our shows regularly that does that on occasion.
Really?
And I have to guess who it is
No. Our audience is going to guess who it is.
because I think
You
I
guys
have a
can
good
guess too.
guess. I got a strong guess already.
Doesn't sound like a Dave. It doesn't sound like a Dave thing. Like everybody's guessing Dave, or two people are guessing Dave right now. It doesn't sound.
It's
two
not
Daves,
Heath,
two
though.
Heaths,
It's not a Heath thing
three
either.
Heaths. Yeah,
It
no,
could be me.
it's
It
not
could be
a-
one of the you two.
no.
No, it's not one of us. Damn it.
It's Jacob Gibbs.
No, it's not Gibbs.
No.
I think it's Dave, but it doesn't even feel like a Dave thing. But I just know it's so far from a Heath thing.
Wow,
And it's not a you thing either, James. It's a Dave thing.
It could
But
be me.
it's Tara. That's funny. All right, well, we'll reveal that later.
That's
We got
actually what
some
Terra
news coming.
time means when the food.
yeah,
goes up.
yeah.
She
That
says,
thing better be on
I
time.
didn't like the food. Sorry.
I'll share my haircut story. I have a much worse haircut story than hopefully anyone, and I'll share that later on in the show.
Oh, God.
I wish I had gone to a Chan.
I thought your worst haircut story was when the listeners paid a lot of money to St. Jude for you to shave 3
That
lines
would
on
be
the
the
side of
worst
your head.
haircut story.
You didn't do it. Jamie did it the next day, gave you a chance to correct your mistake.
Adam-
Still haven't done it.
Adam, when he lived in Florida, had the best person cutting his hair in the world.
Yeah, Jamie's hairstylist. Yeah, she was
That-
great.
Honestly, if my better move would have been wait a day, because for those who don't know, I'm heading down to Fort Lauderdale, the main office, for this next week, and I wanted a haircut to try to look okay for my colleagues and people I haven't seen in a while. And I should have just waited and taken your barber, Jamie. That would have been the move.
All right, can we get on the show here? Actually, this was good filibustering because we got some news in.
Okay.
Daniel Jones and 2 starting linemen are out for the Giants. That one we saw about an hour ago. Jahmyr Gibbs has not been ruled out yet. If Jahmyr Gibbs plays, would you downgrade David Montgomery at all?
Nope.
Couple spots, but that's it. Still top
Mike
12.
Mike Evans is good to go. So this was one of the moments on today's Friday morning's starter sit episode where I had to leave. I didn't hear what you said about Evans and Godwin. So now they're both playing. Jamie, where are you going to rank Evans and Godwin?
Where we have them ranked. So Evans is a top 12 wide receiver, and Godwin is a high-end number 3 receiver. I mean, that's just the one big performance we had from Chris Godwin so far this season was the game that Evans left. And so that's just apparently where Baker Mayfield likes to go. So 3 receiver leagues, you're definitely starting Chris Godwin. 2 receiver leagues, I'd be a little bit concerned.
Mike Evans is going to play. Sorry, T. Higgins. T. Higgins is the next one. T. Higgins is going to be a game time decision. That one just coming in. Game time decision against Seattle. Dan, are you going to start T. Higgins if he plays?
I am, but I think the lead, or at least what I took out of this, was him saying that this is an injury that's going to bother him all year. And he needs what he said, multiple months to feel better and recover from it. So he'll be playing through it potentially, but it's risky. One bad hit and he's going to be in-game out, which kills you in your fantasy lineups during a week.
Some Colts injuries. Right tackle Braden Smith,
That's
center
a bad one.
Ryan Kelly, and 2 defensive tackles all missed practice. 3 of them were for undisclosed reasons. I don't know if that's an illness or what, but that's something to keep an eye on there. Up front, 4 injuries for the Colts. Jacksonville expects to be without Zay Jones and left guard Walker Little, and David Njoku was back at practice. He'll face San Francisco. Check out Sportsline. If you want, if there's enough, enough enthusiasm for a baked burger promo code, we can make it happen. But Jamie, do you have a Sportsline promo code? Dan, do you have a Sportsline promo code? Which one should I give? Should I give Heath, Richard?
Sure.
Whatever.
I don't have
Use
one
a-
that I'm aware of.
I think there's a Richard promo code or a Heath promo code,
Yes.
and you get $1 for your first month of Sportsline. After that, it's only $9.99 a month.
I do believe there's one for Coach. That's just Coach. Jonathan
Okay.
Coach.
You can use Coach too. A lot of promo codes out there. But get on Sportsline. Great fantasy content, not just from Jacob Gibbs, but from Dave and Jamie. I don't know if Jamie's got stuff there, but
Yeah, my DFS lineups go there every week.
okay. Heath as well. Awesome stuff on Sportsline. Check it out.
Because while Dan takes off on Fridays, he gave me more work this season.
That is
I
true.
mean, he works 45 minutes on Friday. Give him a break. From Cheese.
Unbelievable. No off days, I guess. No off days.
I can't take you seriously with that haircut. From Cheese.
Oh my God.
Horse cut.
I think honestly, the fact that you all said I look better without the headphones, I'm taking off these headphones, Adam. I'm tired of the headphones.
Fine, take the headphones out. Whatever.
No. You want them
on. Cheesehead and Horse Country. Dear Romeo, Julius, Hamlet, and Brutus.
on. Those are all characters from or Roman characters. I don't know.
It's Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
I don't even want to. I just want to let Dan do all answer all of them.
Yeah, that's Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones.
No, I knew.
I really, I don't think I can tell anyone. I don't think I could appropriately express to everyone how much I hated Shakespeare in high school. I mean, every
You
time
were a
we had,
theater major.
I was a theater major in college. I was a theater management major. I sold tickets at the box office. I was not really a theater major, but I do tell people that because it is true and it's funny. But Shakespeare sucks. I just like you shared that clip of who was it? Dante Whitner saying Dak sucks. Dak Prescott sucks. That was funny. I don't like Shakespeare. He doesn't suck, but you know.
Most people didn't find that funny. Most people hated that. I thought he was wrong to say Dak Prescott sucks, but nobody talked about that he actually gave good analysis after that no one even considered. But anyway.
Yeah, it's true. All right, here's the question. I need a running back, a wide receiver, and a flex. James Cook, Kamara, or Jonathan Taylor? Kamara.
To start.
Puka, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, T. Higgins. Give me one.
One?
Yeah.
Oh my
PPR. Puka, AJ Brown, Devontae.
Oh, AJ Brown, but I'm just not going to bench AJ Brown.
How do you have this decision?
I don't know how this decision. I think you must have misread this out.
Oh, it's 8 teams. Oh, did I misread it? I'm reading it verbatim. It's 8 teams.
No, I think you misread it. Your sickness is taking over.
Also a flex. Well, I'm not going. I think I'm going to sit AJ Brown.
Adam, in the last
You're playing Adams and Puka?
Yeah.
Adam, in the last 21 days, how many of those days do you think you spent sick?
21.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
In the last 21 days, Dan has taken 5 days off, but said he's working.
I gotta say, I'm very thankful that my ribs injury more or less healed before I got COVID, because that would have been a bad
ribs
time.
Wow,
injury
you
did you have?
and T. Higgins. Good job.
When I tore my ribs from coughing. You didn't know about that, did you?
I didn't know about that. You tore your ribs from coughing?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And this is the guy who thinks he's going to beat me in an athletic competition. He's tearing his ribs from coughing. Unbelievable.
You deserve to know about that. You definitely
I deserve to. You're right. Especially after you just called my haircut an albatross earlier, like just laughing it off. And I knew it was bad, but you made me feel way worse about it at the beginning of the show.
All right, this one is from History Nick. The subject is, sorry, Adam. Rough season for Adam, who we all know is a Broncos fan disguised as a Giants fan. Both his teams are dumpster fires. Which Broncos player will he be too high on next year?
Are you known as a Broncos? Is this because of the Sutton thing?
Well, Sutton last year, Judy this year.
Oh, you were high on
Russ
Judy
this
year.
You were all in on Russ.
He was done. I was off the Russ thing. As soon as I saw the preseason, he looked terrible. I was like, yeah, I don't think
Why'd you stay on Judy then?
I don't know. I just really like Jerry Judy. I think he's a really good player, but
you got hit with the same thing in back-to-back years. You like Sutton and Judy both were relying on Russ being competent.
Yeah, they're bad.
Does Judy get saved if he's traded to Carolina?
No.
Does he get saved if he's traded to Kansas City?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, this is from Joe in a suburb of
Steve
Detroit.
Smith killed him.
A trade when it was honestly, I don't watch a ton of like the talk shows, but every time I've seen Steve Smith, he's just grumpy. He's just a grumpy guy, isn't he?
I think
thing.
I don't know if grumpy is the word
I
for
don't know
it.
if I call it grumpy.
Yeah, I know. It's more just like he's just like, what's a good word for this, Jamie?
He's got an edge to him.
Yeah, he does have an edge.
Yeah.
So it's like
He's got an
one of my
edge.
favorite things I used to do early in my career was Anquan Bolden used to have a charity event. Still does, but used to have a lot of prominent NFL players come to it for his golf tournament. And it was in a small town in West Palm Beach called Pahokee. If you want to know anything about the history of football, go look up football in the Glades. Some of the best players in NFL history have come out of there. And it's just the smallest little town, but just amazing talent. And Steve Smith was at one of these things, and I probably talked to him for 45 minutes. Just one of the best football conversations I've ever had. Just unbelievable guy.
Okay. Cool. Good story. So from Joe, I know that sounded sarcastic, but it wasn't. Someone traded Hollywood Brown, Breece Hall, and Anthony Richardson for Chris Godwin, George Kittle, and the Lions DST.
Ugh.
The rest of the league thinks this trade should have been shut down by the commissioner due to possible collusion, but he said it isn't egregious enough, even though this is not the first time a questionable trade has happened between these two managers. What are your
Whoa.
thoughts?
Whoa.
It
Whoa.
was
Whoa.
Hollywood
Whoa.
Brown, Brees
Wait.
Hall, and Richardson for Godwin, Kittle, and the Lions DST.
Well, it's a god awful trade. That's the start. But the more important thing is there's suspicion of collusion. There's a history of it, and the commissioner goes, we're not going to call collusion because this trade doesn't look egregious enough on paper. Collusion is collusion. If you have suspicion of collusion, you need to look into that. It doesn't matter. And there could be a situation.
Subpoena their records.
No, but there could be a situation where they're purposely trying to make it not look that egregious so they can get away with it.
Why is this trade so bad though? Because
I'm trying to like think about it in my head because Richardson may not play the rest of the season. Well, we hope that's not the case, but he's out for 4 games. So basically, you remove him and the Lions defense for me.
Who's as good as Brees Hall or anywhere close in that on the other side?
It was Brees Hall and who else?
It's Hollywood
Richardson.
Brown. If you take away Richardson and the Lions, then it's Hollywood Brown and Brees Hall for Godwin and Kittle.
It's a bad trade, but I don't know it's vetoable.
Right. That's
no, it's not vetoable. Nothing's vetoable without collusion. It's just a matter of if these people are colluding, that's when your problem lies.
All right, this is from Greg Alicious. Grade the trade. I'm 1-3, looking to spice things up. I'm moving on from Garrett Wilson and Mixon. Okay, so he gives up Wilson and Mixon, and he gets Pittman and Kelsey. Oh, nice.
I like it.
Mixon, Pittman, and Kelsey. Oh, yeah, I love that.
Pittman and Wilson have basically been equals.
It's a B+.
Yeah, Mixon for Kelsey. No, I'll give it an A.
Yeah, it's an A. And you know what? He did this last week, so he just got 100 yards.
Blow up, yeah.
Kelsey, yeah. All right, well, you know who's here. Nope, that's the wrong button. I meant to hit. The Fantasy Cops are here. But so is a commercial break. We'll be right back after this on Fantasy Football Today. There we go. The Fantasy Cops are back. Let's do it. Send us your emails, fantasyfootball@cbsi.com. That is the letter I. Put Fantasy Cops in the subject line. I must have gotten 15 Fantasy Cops emails just this week. I mean, I get a lot. It's a lot of commissioner problems. All right, this is from Chris. I'm the commissioner of a 10-team, fairly high-stakes keeper league. Everyone in our league has become pretty good at fantasy football, so in order to make sure the league stays competitive, everyone stays active. There's no collusion. We made a rule years ago that if anyone in the league has an inactive player of any sort in their lineup, they will take an automatic loss and 0 points for the week if they have an inactive player in their lineup. Last week, when Barkley was designated out, he was left in a manager's lineup. So I was going to have to enforce this rule like I have had to multiple times in the past. The manager did not mean to because he was busy. Let me add, his opponent got married that same weekend. So I allowed him to let the league decide by voting whether or not to enforce the rule. Ultimately, it was voted to uphold the rule, give him the loss and the 0 points because he left Barkley in his lineup and was busy. Now he is mad and currently starting all of his lowest projected players while benching ETN, Jacobs, Kupp, and Ken Walker over Damian Harris and Dotson and others. What should be done?
It's a dynasty league?
No, keeper league.
Because I'm confused. Because like if he's trying to tank, like you're helping him by taking away all.
Right.
No, this isn't a tanking thing. It's just
but now
that
he's trying to lose though.
He's not. Well, he's trying to lose out of spite. He's just
right.
pissed off.
I mean, if it's
stupid, Jamie, right? Like let him change his lineup. He didn't do it on purpose.
Well, no, you don't have to let him change his lineup, but you give him the result of how the game played out. Like, don't give him 0 points and just give him the points. Give him the loss.
Yeah, give him a 0. Right. Give him a 0 for Barkley. That's what. Sorry, you're right. Give him a 0 for Barkley, but give him the points.
Well, he got a 0 for Barkley. Just let it play out as it has.
Yeah, right. But don't give him a 0 for the whole week for his entire.
Right. You don't give him a 0 for his entire roster. If he lost, he lost. If he won, kudos to him.
Yeah, man. I don't really understand this rule. Like giving someone a 0 for starting an inactive player.
Well, I mean, he's the person that is stuck with the inactive player is purposely screwing themselves, whether directly or indirectly. Like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. All right.
If it was now, this is an interesting scenario to flip it because we've had this conversation with our dynasty league. If someone is tanking and puts a player in their lineup that's inactive to purposely get a 0 because they're trying to tank, how do you punish them that way?
I mean,
You give them the win?
Dan did that accidentally. He had to give him the win. That's funny. No, I just put an active player
And
in
I
there.
got the win, by the way, which
Yeah, you
sucked.
won. But that was because you were facing the legitimate team tank.
I can't
Yeah.
tell if you're trying to compete or not in Heath's Dynasty League.
Me? No.
Yeah.
I know, and I'm winning games. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Congratulations. You won in your Dynasty Leagues last week, and you were trying to lose in both of them. All right, next up.
Well, those are only 2 of the Dynasty.
I can't believe it's not better. Dear Jeremy, Mark, Kevin, and Darren. Ooh, I know them. I got it before Schneier. Jeremy, Mark, Kevin, and Darren.
Jeremy Piven.
Yep. One of them's from the University of Miami, the Jeremy.
There's no way that's right. Jeremy spoke in class again? No.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
these
You
are,
don't know
I
this?
think these are Giants tight ends.
Oh, Jeremy Shockey, Kevin Boss. Who were the others?
Mark and Darren.
Oh, Mark Bavaro and Darren Waller.
There you go. All right. I've been riddled with injuries.
Jeremy spoken.
I have the least points for and the most Jeremy Piven and the most points against, and I'm currently 1-4 in last place. I was aggressive with waivers with my fab this week to try and make up for the injuries, but if I drop to 1-5, I'm contemplating fielding the most competitive team I can with my guys each week and stepping aside and not bothering with waivers and free agency moving forward for the more competitive teams to have a better chance at guys.
Well,
If he goes to 1-5, he's gonna set his lineup, but he's gonna stop with the waivers. Basically, is this good etiquette or poor form?
I mean, look, it's a nice gesture, but try and still compete. Like, you
nice
never know.
gesture to who though? Like, I don't like. I don't think this is. I don't think it's bad etiquette, but I don't think it's good etiquette. Like, I don't think you're supposed to just stop playing the waiver wire once you fall into a bad record. And that, I don't know. I don't love this personally.
You have
Yeah,
no
I
obligation.
would still be competing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have no obligation to the other managers who have better records. And 1-5,
Right.
like, you're probably out of it, but you're not out of it.
You're not
I mean,
really.
try and make a
Like,
trade or two.
yeah.
Where was the Dan, the type of dude to always think it's an Entourage reference?
Entourage is an amazing show.
All right, this one's from Douglas. This is a really long one here. From Douglas. Hey, Joe, Mel, Jack, and Jack. I believe those are Steel Curtain members. He told me. He put it in the email. I'm not going to take credit for that one.
At least
All
you
right.
admitted it this time.
12 teams. I always admit.
No,
12 team. Like, I admit your haircut's really bad.
you Google so often, and people don't know about that. But I want
I
people
always
to know about
say what I Google. All right. 12 team Superflex League already existed when I joined last year to take over an empty spot. So far this year, my team has been hit hard by the injury bug, but I've managed to hang in with a 2-3 record. And yet, after the week 5 games are finalized, I log in to see I now have a record of 2-8 instead of 2-3. In fact, all records now show 10 games played instead of 5. I see that other league members have already commented in the chat, and it's assumed that the site, which is not CBS, had a glitch. Best I can tell, the glitch happened sometime on Tuesday. Commissioner comes on the chat Wednesday and says he changed the league settings on purpose to, quote, see how it would look to add a little balance to the league, end quote. What he did was change a setting to add a victory or a loss for each week when a team scores above or below
Yes.
the median point total for that given week. So my injury-laden 2-3 low-scoring team is now 2-8.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
just so happens that his 3-2 team is now 7-3.
Yes.
Other league members all right, Dan is pro. Other league members came on the chat to ask that it be changed back. They said it's not something that we agreed upon before the season started, and it can't
Fair.
be changed mid-season. Commissioner has many responses, including that, quote, it's called balance. The good teams will still make the playoffs. And, quote, if a team scores a boatload of points and outscores 98% of the league, they deserve a win for that, end quote. League members explained to him that it literally changed the rankings. Commish responds, quote, not really. League member said that it's a paid league, it needs to be changed back, blah, blah, blah. The also got a little like juvenile where the
It
commission.
always does. It always does.
So I need to know 2 things. Am I at all out of line to be angry over the situation, even if it was just an experiment and will eventually be changed back? And B2, do I deserve to get refunded and allow the league to and allowed to leave the league based on this?
I have thoughts on this. I'll start by saying you deserve to be mad, and you are right that you shouldn't change in season. What are you laughing at, Jamie? Did I cut you off?
I mean, your job is to analyze the question. So when you say I have thoughts on this, I hope so.
I have strong thoughts on this. I should
Times
say.
while I was reading it, of course he has thoughts.
I
on
have
it.
strong thoughts.
Yes.
Is what I should be saying.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
My thoughts are, one, you have every reason to be mad that a rule was created or a change was created in season, and it's drastically changing the standings or outcome or whatever.
Yes.
Having said that, Adam.
Yes.
I set you up there. Having said that, this is what we call apex scoring. I think it should be a part of every fantasy league. Top six players, top six scoring teams each week get a win. Bottom six get a loss. There's a lot of reasons why I think it should be enacted in every.
This is in addition to your weekly matchup, right?
In addition to your weekly matchup, so you either go 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2.
Yeah.
The reason to add it is out of fairness, because you don't want to have the situation where you score the second most points and you lose. You also don't want to have the situation where a team scores the second least points and wins. That's not fair. And it takes away some variance. But what people don't realize, the best part of this is, because finally some leagues I have are using it this year, is it adds so much fun to Monday Night Football. There's usually 2 to 4 teams competing for that last apex win. They're in the 5th in points, 4th in points, 6th in points, 7th in points going into Monday night. And it's a lot of fun to track, like, am I going to get that win or am I going to get the loss? So in addition to adding fairness, it adds fun.
That's cool.
The commissioner is correct in trying to add this, but he's incorrect in trying to do it in season. And I have in a similar league where people are just annoying and they don't like change, and so they didn't put it in. And I've been complaining about that all year, because it's like, I just hate leagues that are like, oh, change. I can't handle change. Like, change can be good, especially in fantasy football.
Yeah.
Things are created to make it.
And spoiler alert, the commissioner went back and changed it to the.
Of course, in season.
Institute it next year. By the way, could Dan have shorter sleeves today, Jamie?
No, these are not short. These are not short sleeves. These are correct, normal. This is what it would look like.
Those are short sleeves. But look, you're playing into the shtick of, you want to show off your guns. But as his hair got shorter, his sleeves got shorter too. So like everything's just rising up right now.
How many times did you dry that shirt by itself?
Actually, a funny thing about this shirt, I used to love this shirt. It's an amazing shirt. It's 2 years old, and it shrunk in the wash at one point. I went to a poker game with a group of friends. Shout out Long Island crew. Shout out Drama Free. And I got roasted for 2 hours for wearing what they considered the tightest shirt anyone's ever worn. I still love the shirt. I didn't want to retire it, but
what you can't see is if Dan stands up, you see his belly button.
Yeah, you got to see right now.
The shirt's fine.
Like 10 seconds ago, or a minute ago, I roast Dan for his shirt, and he's no, this is a perfectly appropriate shirt. Then he reveals a story. It's actually not. It is shrunk, and you already got roasted for it by your friends.
He figured if he showed off the guns, people would not look at his head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't blame him. Real quick, I'll tell you there it is. Shirt distraction over the hair. My haircut story. So in New York City, you can choose your price for a haircut. You want to go to some fancy place, go for it. You want to go to a chain, they have those. You want to go to a little barber shop with very unqualified people that'll cut your hair for $15 or whatever, you can find plenty of those. So that's where I went. I got a haircut. This guy was texting during the haircut.
Wow.
Constantly looking at his phone, not really paying attention to me. He slices my ear with the scissors.
Oh,
it hurt so bad. I was bleeding, not profusely, but not profusely. Like, I was bleeding pretty bad. I at first thought I was going to have to get stitches. To make matters worse, I'm like, holding my ear, bleeding into my hand. He blamed me for it. He goes, "You moved." I was like, I moved? And the thing is, like, I was kind of intimidated by this place because it was seedy. And I was like, I don't want to get murdered right now.
I can't see you even going to a place like that.
I'm like
you
I get the same haircut every time. I feel like anyone with a pair of scissors could do it.
Right.
Not this schmuck. He's looking
Did
at
you
his phone. No, I did not pay. and I did not tip. And
Whoa.
but yes, that was. I
you
thought
tipped. You tipped. You gave him the tip of year.
exactly. But Dan, you'll never get a haircut that bad. I'm thankful to report. All right, let's read some emails. Fantasy football. Hold on. Fantasy football at cbsi.com. Aaron in a tiny town in Iowa, Council Bluffs. I
Is
think
it
it's
smaller than Dan's shirt?
Not that small. It's not that small.
No, it's a perfectly appropriate shirt. Here's a story about how it's not a perfectly appropriate shirt. All right. 2 running back, 2 receiver, 2 flex league, half PPR. Would you trade DJ Moore straight up for Tony Pollard? Would you try to package DJ Moore with someone else for Eckler?
DJ Moore for Pollard probably gets done right now. You know, if there's a running back, the team that has Pollard has good running back depth and needs a receiver and vice versa. So I don't think that's a bad one.
I'm on board with that too.
All right. We've got an email from John. Wanted flex advice. 2 flex, 8-team PPR. Brees, we need 2. Brees Hall, Calvin Ridley, Devontae Smith, and Jacoby Myers.
Ridley and Myers.
Wow.
I'm not going to bench Ridley or Myers at this point, so I'm good with that.
I mean, just Hall going against the
Yeah.
Eagles' run defense could be a little bit problematic. Hey, Dan, listen. When you're coming to Florida, we have to pack up my house because we're doing some renovation stuff. Can you bring some clothes for my kids to wear?
I'll just bring them this shirt, and then they can become Mets fans. Speaking of Florida, I have a bone to pick, by the way, with all of you. I got bashed, and we'll make this quick because we've done a lot of this on the show. I've got bashed.
Bashing. Okay.
What'd you say?
Or Florida bashing.
No, it's the opposite. I got bashed the other day for talking about, and mostly in defense of New Jersey, which gets a lot of crap because of that stupid show, Jersey Shore, where no one was really even from Jersey was on that show. It ruined our reputation. But I got a lot of crap for talking about how I can go within 5 minutes here and I get to a mom and pop shop for Greek food, Italian, Indian, all different cuisines. And you're like, no, Florida has just as good food. And yet this week, Adam, I told Jamie, I told Dave, I told Heath, well, you're not going to be down there, but I told the people who live in Florida and Fort Lauderdale, I'm coming down to Fort Lauderdale for a week. I'm going to be there for a week. I got a rental car. Nights are going to be mine. Anyone have some good food suggestions? Anyone have some good restaurant suggestions? I got nothing from these guys. Supposedly, you come down to Florida, there's all sorts of good places. And don't give me a chain restaurant. I don't want to hear about a chain restaurant. I'm talking about a mom and pop's homemade food store. And
yes.
So, homemade
restaurant. I will. The best burger that I've ever had.
Whoa.
It is not too far. It is not too far from the office.
Okay.
And I'm sure you can get some of the guys to go with you. Georgie's Alibi, it's called. Okay. And I don't know if they still have the same burgers. I haven't been there in years, but the Knockout and the Champ, you can pick which one. One of them has a jalapeno cream cheese. It's really not too spicy because I don't like spicy stuff. Georgie's Alibi is the best burger that I've ever had. It is so damn good. Yeah. And also, what's the place in Boca, the burger place with the cowboy style?
You already gave me the best burger. I don't want another one.
City's another one that's fantastic.
It's not Boca. It's Deerfield.
Deerfield. All right, yeah, great.
Do they?
Great.
But do they bake their burgers?
Yes, they do. Yeah, that's the secret. All right, back to the emails.
I'll give you some recommendations, Dan.
Okay, good.
And I mean, you sent that email. The first thing I said to you was, "We'll go out to lunch."
I know that was very nice of you, and we will go out to lunch. But I was just hoping, get some names of places we all hear. Oh, Florida, great for food. Florida,
I don't think you need to make any reservations, so you should be okay.
Okay.
From Sean, 10-team. Oh, by the way, Miles Sanders is out. We'll talk about that in a second.
Ooh.
From Sean, 10-team PPR Superflex. I was offered this trade. Give up in Superflex. Give up Howell, Tyreek Hill, and Sam Laporta. Get Lamar Jackson, Devontae Adams, and Dallas Goedert.
Howell, Hill, Laporta. Get Lamar Jackson, Devontae Adams, and Dallas Goedert.
1 QB league?
2 QB. Superflex.
I'm taking it for Lamar Jackson alone.
Yeah, if it's 2 QB Superflex, you have to take the Lamar Jackson side of this.
From Kenneth, Dameon Pierce, Jonathan Taylor, or Amari Cooper?
Taylor.
Dameon Pierce, Jonathan Taylor, or Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
Definitely not Cooper with Walker. Definitely not.
Yeah, not Pierce either. I guess Taylor. Just hope
from Mason, 2 running backs in a flex in PPR. Zach Moss, Kyron Williams, Montgomery, ETN, Kamara, Waddle. Wow. All right. It's not going to be Moss. So pick 2. Kyron Williams, Montgomery, ETN, Kamara.
Ooh, that's tough. I'm thinking I'm gonna go
Montgomery and
ETN.
Kamara.
I don't think I can bench ETN, so I'm going to go ETN and Montgomery.
All right, then give me 2 flexes: Kyron Williams, Montgomery, ETN, Kamara, Waddle.
Williams and Kamara. Williams and
One
ETN.
flex. Sorry.
The 4 running backs.
1 flex. My bad. 1 flex.
I'll go
I'll go ETN.
Kamara.
All right, from John, start 3: Montgomery, Eckler, Pollard, ETN. You have to sit one of these guys: Montgomery, Eckler, Pollard, or ETN.
Montgomery sits.
I guess I'm sitting Montgomery, but I could make. Yeah, I'll sit Montgomery. I haven't
Actually, no, I'm going to sit ETN.
I was thinking Pollard maybe. I have not liked what I've seen from Pollard or that offense.
Yeah, but this
should
good
be a
match.
get right spot. Yes, this should be. Yep.
From Rick, I have to drop either JSN or Quentin Johnston. Who do I drop?
Great question.
I would drop JSN right now just because at least there's a path to success right away for Johnston.
I'll say this with regards to that. I thought the dynasty conversation we had. What are you laughing at?
I'll say this with regards to that.
Yeah, this is a little bit of filibuster to get to in my head where I want to set where I want to talk about. On the Dynasty Show this week with Matt Wallman, we discussed that situation with JSN, and a good point was made about how those 2 offensive tackles have been out, and it's really led to a lot more 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends, and some 13 personnel, 3 tight ends. It's limited his possibility, maybe coming out of the bye week, because the idea was they always did want to go to more of what comes from that McVay tree, which is 11 personnel, 3 receivers on the field, let JSN eat. And so I think I would actually keep JSN there.
Okay. Next email. After the emails, we'll get to Miles Sanders, I promise. Oh, gosh.
Oh, that was brutal.
Yeah, that's a Commanders fan controlling the comments.
He's right, though. That's the worst part.
Yeah. Dan is trying to be Shakespeare. I don't quite know what that means, but neither does Dan.
To be or not to be wearing that shirt.
It's not that bad. Like, the shirt is not that bad, guys.
This one is from Ben. Hey, Tony.
Romeo, wherefore art thou my hair go?
That is the bigger problem.
Tony, Troy, Danny, and Andy. It's not Toy Story. Tony, Troy, Danny, and Andy.
Cowboys quarterbacks?
Yeah. There's an Andy in Toy Story, right?
Yeah, no, Andy's the main kid.
Okay, I haven't seen it I've seen I'd like to be more into Toy Story. 10-team PPR. Rank these waiver wire priorities: Deontay Johnson, Tajay Spears, JSN, Quentin Johnston, Jeff Wilson, and Tank Bigsby.
Wow. Do you need somebody for this week, or is this more of a long-term play?
I think long-term.
Because I think the long-term play is probably Tajay Spears.
I mean, maybe, but Jeff Wilson, I got to pick up Jeff Wilson.
Well, I mean, the second guy for me would be Deontay Johnson, just because I think if he comes back healthy, that's going to be 6-7 catches a week potentially.
And yes, you should drop Ferguson for some of these guys. Jaylen Warren. I think I'd rather have Warren or Spears. I think I'd rather have Spears.
Spears.
I would rather have Spears too.
All right, from Craig. I need to find a wide receiver for this week. Michael Thomas, Deontay Johnson, Michael Thomas, and Rashee Rice are all available for week 7. Oh, okay. This is a week 7 question. Sorry. Deontay Johnson, Michael Thomas, and Rashee Rice are all available for week 7 and rest of season. Who would you choose? And I think he might have to drop Tank Dell for one of them. So I don't know if you should do that. But Tank Dell's on a bye next week.
And he's not playing this week. He's already been ruled out. So if you're in a league where there's no IR spots and Deontay Johnson's been on the waiver wire, I'm going to guess Tank Dell probably will make it on the waiver wire too. Or, at least there's the hope of that. So if you have to plan ahead for week 7, drop Tank Dell, pick up Deontay Johnson, and just hope that you can maybe get him back.
All right. How about from Phil? Hey, Tommy, Arthur, John, and Finn. Feels like a show Dan should watch.
Tommy, Arthur, John, and Finn. If I hear Finn, I just always think of Sopranos, Meadows' boyfriend, but that can't be right.
I think it's Glee, but I think it's Peaky Blinders.
Oh, I have heard that show's amazing, and it's one of the rare elite shows I haven't watched. So, Kate just said, Oh no, that's not true.
Yeah, type
don't-
of dude who kisses biceps before he bench presses.
I don't even do the bicep is the one area muscle group I don't actually work on ever because it's
Right
pointless.
stretch there, very subtle. All right, grade the trade from
Nice
Phil.
natural stretch.
Gave up most
That's what Sung said. My niece could use Dan's shirt. Oh my god!
give up Mostert and
The
Garrett
second time
Wilson.
I've been bashed for this shirt by two different groups of friends. I can't believe I decided to wear this again. I guess I have to throw this shirt out. I loved this shirt.
No.
Such
Give
a
it
good
to
shirt.
a 5-year-old Mets fan. It'll fit perfectly.
You should know that Jamie gave me 2 of his shirts from when he was about 10 years old, and I wear them to this day.
Yes,
Like,
That
that
he
is
doesn't
true.
surprise me.
From Phil said, I traded Mostert and Garrett Wilson for Devontae Adams.
Mostert
Yeah.
and Garrett Wilson for Devontae Adams.
Wait. It sounds great, but then Mostert still has some good time left. I mean, I guess if you have running back depth, which no
I
one
would
has.
do this. I would do this.
Hmm,
B plus.
I wonder how much of last week was Devontae Adams' shoulder really being a problem.
interesting.
Yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm fine with it. I feel like Adams is gonna be awesome.
On paper, it's fine trade.
All right, which 2 would you want rest of season? Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Matthew Stafford, Deshaun Watson, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love. Pick 2 rest of season.
Fields is an easy one.
Yeah, let me read them again for the audience. Fields and one more. Wilson, Stafford, Watson, Purdy, Love.
Purdy for me.
I would say Purdy, although if Stafford is going to look like he did last week, there's a higher ceiling for Stafford.
It's fair.
And that's it for that. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Panthers backfield against the Dolphins and read your YouTube questions. So get those YouTube questions go. Dan, the type of guy to say there's no good food in Florida and then eat at Denny's.
That's not true. I don't eat at Denny's.
Yo, a
Actually,
Moons Over Miami. Have you ever had a Moons Over Miami from Denny's?
No, I don't think I've ever been to a Denny's.
Oh, it's so good. It is so good, man.
Right.
It
It's
is
over
definitely
Miami.
a good stop on the way home from a night out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nothing better. All right, we'll be
You
right
mean
back.
nothing better, Adam.
There's nothing like that kind of food.
That's
No,
where
I
Adam
mean
had to
with the
drive
night
everybody
out.
after
That's
they
what
were
I'm saying with the night out. You're the designated driver. What do you mean?
Oh, well, you don't have to be drunk. I'm just saying, like it's late. You're in a good mood. You're with your friends. Those types of things
okay.
are the
Yes.
best.
Way to spin it. Way to spin it. Well done.
Great memories. All right,
Joe
well-
Antonio out. The David Njoku out are questionable. And
Tank Dell out.
Nice.
no, nothing yet on Deshaun.
All right, we'll be right back. Get those YouTube questions in or comments about Dan's hair. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. Let's talk about Chuba Hubbard, Jamie. Where do you think you're going to rank him?
I kind of already ranked him as if Sanders wasn't playing. Just have to remove Sanders, so I put him at 23. So low end number 2 running back. I would start him ahead of Jonathan Taylor. I would start him ahead of Jerome Ford, ahead of Rashad White, ahead of Damian Pierce. That group.
I always get concerned about. Oh, wait. Before I get onto this random topic, how about the Joshes and KJ Osborne? Josh Palmer, Josh Reynolds, Josh Downs, KJ Osborne, or Chuba Hubbard?
The only one I would put Hubbard ahead of as of now, because Laporta has not been ruled out, is Josh Reynolds. But the other Joshes and KJ, I would start over Chuba.
Foreman or Hubbard? Question from YouTube.
I would go with Foreman.
Yeah, me too.
All right. If you guys have any Chuba Hubbard questions, go for it. And he's only at last check about 62% rostered.
Yeah.
Here are our YouTube questions. Full PPR, Tyjae Spears or Justice Hill?
You got to go with Hill for now, just because he's getting more opportunities. The one thing I think that if you are in the Spears camp for this week, is if the Titans are trailing, he'll be on the field probably a lot more.
True.
And so that could certainly help him. But I think if the Titans are trailing, that Justice Hill probably had some hand in it. So I would lean toward Hill.
Okay. Trade Hurts and Olave for Mahomes and ETN. That's interesting.
I would do it. It seems like you're in a position where you need running back. So I would do it.
Yeah, I think so. Just knowing that ETN's been fantastic so far.
Traded Garrett Wilson, Brian Robinson, Chris Godwin, Jordan Addison for Ken Walker, T. Higgins, and Brandon Ayuk. 10-team half PPR. Oh, I like this a lot.
Feels like an A+ to me.
Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it a lot because I don't really know what I can expect from T.
Well,
Higgins.
let me ask you this question: which B Rob is it?
It better
Probably
not.
Brian Robinson.
If it's Bijan, then forget it. Then it's
Oh,
a terrible.
obviously, then it's a horrible trade. But assuming it's Brian Robinson, I just think this is like Kenneth Walker and Ayuk alone. I don't know if there's any player from the other side I like more than those two.
Yeah,
going forward.
yeah, do it. And let the English see you do it. But it's so lopsided that maybe it is.
What an amazing reference from you just there.
I used to be able to do the accents, but
What's that from?
my favorite movie, Braveheart.
What's that? Okay.
Pierce
Never seen it.
non-PPR. Is this a trade or a Pierce for Stevenson? I don't know if that's supposed to be Pierce or Stevenson, but who do you like rest of season? Who do you like this week?
Stevenson this
week. Yeah.
Rest of season is a great call because how bad are the Patriots going to be? The schedule lightens up for both of these guys. I think there's more touchdown potential for Pierce, so I would lean that way, but it's close.
I know Dan has to leave now, so you can leave whenever you need. You can answer this last question from David A. Which two rest of season? Bad haircut, tiny shirt, or picky eater?
I'm not a picky either. Let me make that clear, David. I eat everything. So I will try the snail, the rabbit that Adam said he wouldn't eat. I would eat all that. I eat everything. I just like quality food, okay? And I like homemade.
No, it's not picky. It's snobby eater.
Snobby's fine if you want to call it that. I'm okay with that. Even I don't agree with it. I'm okay with it. I just like quality, and I like mom and pop's homemade food, not just chain crap.
I don't mind
If you come to Florida and eat at, let's say, one of each of the recommendations Dave will give you,
yes,
you will never fit in that shirt ever again.
I like that. Before I get out of here, can I get a grade the team name? Because Adam always says, "Oh, Dan's not creative. He doesn't have a team name." Okay, I got Brock Purdy in a lot of leagues this year. I play in a lot of Superflex. So one that I've gone with in multiple leagues, and I didn't see anyone pick it yet. And that's the other thing. Adam uses a lot of team names that he already found online and just like copies them and pretends
Found
it was
online,
his own original idea. Yeah, that happens. No, I'm kidding. I know. I'm just joking. Obviously, I hope people understand that. But mine that I think I came up with because I don't think anyone had it is Purty good. Not bad, right?
Adam, I got a team name for you. I'm going to give you a name. You sing it.
It's an A+.
Okay, I can leave on that note. Goodbye. Good luck.
All right, I'm going to give you the team name. You sing it. Ready?
Yeah.
Hold me closer. Tiny shirt guy.
We already left, or I would have.
No, sing it.
No, I cannot do that today. Najee Harris or Chuba Hubbard rest of season?
Oh, still Najee.
A half point. I need a running back and a flex. Barkley, Pierce, Hopkins, Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith would be the receiver, so the flex. And if Saquon plays, I'd play Saquon over Pierce.
Yeah, well, if he doesn't play, it's Pierce.
Yep.
Brian Robinson or Devon Achane rest of season?
Wow, factoring in the 4 games missed, you got to go Robinson just to be safe.
But that's the thing. Unless I missed something, I don't know that it's 4 games.
Right? No, that's the thing. It's a gamble.
Yeah.
But if so I made one offer for Achane. I forget who I was trying to acquire. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but it got rejected. And then the counter was Javonte Williams for Achane. And I was like, no way.
No way. Would you trade Dameon Pierce? Would you trade Achane for Dameon Pierce?
In that league, I would, yes.
I mean, here's the thing. If you do that, though, just that specifically, you don't want to start Pierce this week and he has a bye next week.
Yeah, that's the thing you got to take into account. Like, so in the I have Achane in 2 leagues. I think at least 2. And one is 4-1 and one is 1-4. The 1-4 one, I'm desperate to trade him. The 4-1 one, I'm desperate to keep him.
Right. Okay. Hollywood Brown or DeAndre Hopkins?
I would go with Brown this week.
Garrett Wilson or Alexander Madison?
In PPR, it's close. I'll go Madison. So.
Colin wants a quarterback upgrade. Who's the best wide receiver you'd trade for Lamar Jackson? No, we would not trade Chase. We would not trade Kupp. Would you trade any of the other guys? Puka, Olave, Kirk, or Gabe Davis for Jackson?
If you can turn Kirk into Lamar Jackson, I would try and do that. I would probably go as high as Olave. I would leave the other 3 alone, unless you just want to alleviate the problem of having the 2 Rams. It may not be as great as we saw last week. I wouldn't be surprised, but it just might be a headache that you're dealing with.
Yeah, but don't trade Kupp. You could like Puka.
Do not trade Kupp. Do not trade Chase. Those 2 are off the table.
Okay. Chuba Hubbard or Josh Downs? We kind of said that earlier, but Chuba Hubbard or Josh Downs?
I'm gonna go Downs in PPR.
JB, the type of dude to whistle while he organizes his sock drawer.
I like to whistle. I'm a whistler, so I might be doing that. But
Yeah, he is a
I
whistler.
I definitely whistle while I work.
Also, if you ever if you ever are around Jamie, don't give him a clickable pen. He clicks the hell out of the pens, like, right? Don't you do that? You
Oh,
want to click the pen?
so I always am usually like fidgeting with something. So like
Little
right now I have
things.
our St. Jude clip
Uh-huh.
in my hand, the magnet. So I'm constantly like tapping the magnet back and forth. Like if you hear, I do this a lot. And then I also have always in the show. You probably see me like reach for stuff all the time. So when I redid the setup, I have one of the little wrenches here. I forgot what these are called.
Those Allen wrenches.
I think so. And I play with that all the time. I'm always fidgeting with that. And then also, these are like little things we plug in for our microphones. So these little things. So I always have the
Oh, cool.
little knob thing, and I'm always doing this a lot too. So you probably hear this from time to time.
That's a 1/4 inch.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You would know.
Brian Robinson or Ramondre Stevenson? I didn't hear what you said, but I think I know what you said, and I'm ignoring it.
Well,
Brian
not
Robinson.
otherwise. I would go with Robinson.
Josh Downs.
Like, do you hear that? Do you hear this right now?
Yeah.
I do that all the time. I don't know how you've never said anything.
I wouldn't hear it unless we were totally silent and listening for it. Downs or Rashad White?
Downs.
All right. A few more here. Deontay Foreman, Kenneth Gainwell, or Tajay Spears?
Foreman.
And Rashad White or Tutu or Amari DiMercado?
Oh, if there's no Keontae Ingram's easy DiMercado. If there's, I'd probably still go Rashad White. So it's DiMercado or Rashad White. Tutu is going to be touchdown or bust, I think.
Last one here. Let's get a good one. Zach Ertz or Dalton Schultz?
Oh, you ended on a great one. I'll go with Schultz.
Deebo Samuel or Gabe Davis?
Davis.
Okay. Thielen or Ayuk?
Thielen.
All right, we're out of here. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time. Have an awesome weekend. We'll talk to you on Sunday. And make sure you watch our live stream at 11:30 a.m. on YouTube. And make sure you watch CBS Sports HQ for Fantasy Football Today at 9 a.m. on Sunday. Later.